Alien girl asking in what way you f asterisk K me I can't sit down after last night. Lieutenant Luna Reyes stood before the crystalline vessel's airlock, her heart racing beneath her formal science officer's uniform. The iridescent surface of the ship pulsed with subtle light patterns, a bioorganic architecture unlike anything humanity had encountered in their centuries of space exploration. "Remember, Lieutenant," Captain Morris whispered beside her, "this is the first official contact with the Lumini. Every gesture matters." Luna nodded, though her attention was fixed on the way the ship's surface seemed to ripple like water catching starlight. Her xenobiology training hadn't prepared her for the sheer alien beauty of their visitors' technology. The airlock dilated open with a soft chiming sound, revealing their first glimpse of a Lumini up close. Luna's breath caught in her throat. The being before them stood nearly 7 feet tall, its form seemingly carved from living crystal. Faceted surfaces caught and reflected light in mesmerizing patterns, while beneath the translucent exterior, complex structures pulsed with internal radiance. Most striking were its eyes, deep pools of swirling violet energy that somehow conveyed both ancient wisdom and intense curiosity. "I am Zarin," the being's voice resonated directly in their minds, harmonious yet alien, chief cultural liaison of the Lumini Collective. Their form shifted slightly, creating a cascade of rainbow refractions. "We are honored to begin this dialogue with humanity." Luna stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. "The honor is ours. I'm Lieutenant Luna Reyes, xenobiologist." She hesitated, then asked, May I scan you? The bioluminescent patterns you're displaying are fascinating." Captain Morris shot her a warning look, but Zarin's crystalline form brightened. "Your directness is refreshing, Lieutenant. Among my people, honest curiosity is highly valued." They extended one graceful limb. "You may scan if I may learn about you in return." As Luna approached with her scanner, she noticed intricate patterns flowing just beneath Zarin's surface, like liquid light dancing through crystal caves. Their proximity created an unexpected sensation, a gentle humming in her chest as if her own bioelectric field was responding to theirs. "Extraordinary," she breathed, watching the readings flood her device. "Your cellular structure appears to be a silicon-carbon hybrid, but these energy patterns..." She glanced up to find Zarin studying her just as intently. "Your own energy patterns are equally intriguing," they said, their mental voice carrying undertones of warmth. "So dynamic yet harmonious, different from other humans I've observed." Luna felt a blush creep up her neck. "How so?" "Your internal resonance," Zarin explained, gesturing with a crystalline hand that caught starlight and scattered it like diamonds. "It sings in a way that echoes our own frequencies, rare even among your kind." Captain Morris cleared his throat. "Perhaps we should proceed with the formal diplomatic protocols." But Luna barely heard him. She was transfixed by the way Zarin's form seemed to pulse in sync with her own heartbeat, creating patterns of light that spoke of possibilities she'd never imagined. "Your species values empirical observation," Zarin noted, their mental voice now pitched for her alone. "But there are types of knowledge that transcend mere data collection. Would you be interested in learning our ways of understanding?" "Yes," Luna answered without hesitation. "I want to understand everything." Zarin's form brightened again, internal lights dancing like aurora borealis. "Then let us begin with Lesson 1. Sometimes the most profound discoveries come not from observation but from resonance." As they moved toward the conference room, Luna felt something shift inside her, like the first note of a symphony she didn't yet know but somehow recognized in her bones. She'd come seeking scientific knowledge, but standing beside this crystalline being who saw the universe through such different eyes, she sensed she was about to discover something far more profound. Whether it was the scientist or the woman in her that thrilled at that prospect, she wasn't quite sure. But watching Zarin move with liquid grace through the starlit corridor, she knew with certainty that her life would never be the same. The research laboratory aboard the human vessel Stellar Horizon hummed with quiet energy as Luna adjusted her instruments. Across the room, Zaren's crystalline form cast prismatic patterns across the walls, their internal lights pulsing with a gentle rhythm that seemed to match the ship's ambient sounds. In your culture, Luna began, making notes on her tablet, what significance does bioluminescent communication hold? She'd spent the past week studying the subtle variations in Zaren's light patterns, fascinated by how they changed during their conversations. Zaren moved closer, their form shifting like liquid crystal. Among the Lumini, light speech is our most intimate form of communication. Each pattern, each pulse carries emotional resonance that words alone cannot convey. They paused, their violet eyes swirling with deeper hues. When I speak with you like this, through mental projection, I am translating not just language, but feeling. Luna set down her tablet, drawn in by the complexity of what Zaren was sharing. So when your lights changed during our first meeting, I was expressing recognition, Zaren completed her thought, their form brightening. Your energy signature harmonized with our frequencies in a way I had never encountered in a human. It was surprising. The admission made Luna's pulse quicken. She'd felt that harmony too, though she'd tried to dismiss it as scientific curiosity. Among humans, we rely heavily on physical cues, facial expressions, body language, but your species seems to communicate on multiple levels simultaneously. Zaren's surface rippled with bands of iridescent color. Yes, what you call physical touch we experience as an exchange of energy patterns. When Lumini choose to share space to allow our fields to overlap, it creates a resonance that they seem to search for the right words. It forms bonds that transcend physical reality. Luna found herself stepping closer, drawn by the mesmerizing play of light across Zaren's form. Is that why you sometimes seem to pulse in sync with the humans you interact with? Only with you, Zaren said softly, their mental voice carrying undertones that made Luna's skin tingle. Others remain discordant, but your frequency, it aligns naturally with our own. The admission hung in the air between them, heavy with implication. Luna reached out hesitantly, her hand hovering near Zaren's crystalline surface. May I? Zaren's form brightened perceptibly. Among my people, such a request requires deep trust, to allow another being to touch our core structure. It is reserved for those with whom we wish to form lasting bonds. Luna began to withdraw her hand, but Zaren caught it gently with a crystalline appendage. The contact sent a shock of sensation through her arm, not unpleasant, but intense, like touching an electric field made of starlight. However, Zaren continued, their mental voice softening, I find myself wanting to share these things with you. Your curiosity, your openness to understanding our ways, it creates a harmony I cannot ignore. As their energies mingled, Luna gasped. She could feel Zaren's essence, not just physically but emotionally, a complex tapestry of thoughts and feelings that transcended ordinary experience. Colors she had no names for danced behind her eyes, and sensations she couldn't describe flowed through her consciousness. This is how your people connect, she whispered, overwhelmed by the intimacy of the moment. It is one way, Zaren answered, their form now pulsing with warm, golden light. Each connection is unique, like the pattern of stars in a galaxy. What we share now, it is unprecedented between our species. Luna knew she should maintain scientific objectivity, should be recording these observations for her research. But in that moment, with Zaren's energy intertwined with her own, she understood that some experiences defied clinical documentation. I should warn you, Zaren said, their mental voice carrying a note of concern, such connections once formed are not easily broken among my people. We do not engage in casual contact. Luna met their violet gaze steadily, and if I don't want it to break. Zaren's entire form seemed to shimmer. Then you understand more of our ways than any human before you, but there would be consequences, challenges. My people do not easily accept such profound bonds with other species. Neither do mine, Luna admitted. But isn't that why we're here, to bridge those gaps, to prove that different species can find harmony? Before Zarin could respond, the lab's comm system crackled to life. Lieutenant Reyes, your presence is required on the bridge. Captain Morris's voice carried an edge of disapproval. Luna reluctantly withdrew her hand, though the echoes of their connection lingered like music in her bones. We'll continue this discussion. Yes, Zarin said, their lights now pulsing with a pattern that spoke of longing and possibility. There is much more to share. As Luna left the lab, she felt changed not just by the physical contact, but by the understanding that had passed between them. She was no longer simply studying an alien species. She was learning a new way of experiencing the universe itself, and the implications both thrilled and terrified her. The emergency council chamber aboard the Stellar Horizon crackled with tension. Luna stood at attention before the assembled officers and diplomats, both human and Lumini, trying to keep her expression neutral despite the storm raging in her chest. Lieutenant Reyes, Captain Morris began, his voice sharp with authority, explain exactly what happened in the quantum physics lab during third shift. Luna's mind flashed back to hours earlier, to Zarin showing her how Lumini shared their quantum knowledge through direct energy transfer, to the moment their fields had merged so completely that the lab's sensors had registered it as an anomalous energy surge. I was conducting authorized research into Lumini methods of information exchange, she stated carefully. Zarin was demonstrating their species' approach to quantum mechanics. The Lumini High Chancellor, a towering crystalline figure named Vex, cut in with a mental voice that felt like ice. You engaged in a resonance bond with my cultural liaison. Such exchanges are forbidden without formal sanction from the collective. Zarin, standing opposite Luna in the chamber, their form dimmed to barely a glimmer, finally spoke. Chancellor, the exchange was initiated by mutual consent. Lieutenant Reyes has shown unprecedented compatibility with our energy patterns. That is precisely what concerns us, Morris interjected. These energy patterns you're exchanging, how do we know they're not compromising ship security, or worse, affecting Lieutenant Reyes's judgment? Luna felt her composure crack. Sir, with respect, this exchange has led to breakthrough understandings of Lumini quantum theory. The potential benefits to both our species are not worth the diplomatic risk, Morris cut her off. This goes beyond professional boundaries, Lieutenant. The energy readings from that lab, he paused, choosing his words carefully. They suggest an intensity of connection that violates multiple protocols. Chancellor Vex's form pulsed with harsh, angular patterns. Zarin, you were chosen as liaison for your discipline, your adherence to tradition, yet you risk everything to indulge in unauthorized bonding with a human. Not just any human, Zarin responded, their mental voice carrying an undertone of defiance that made Luna's heart race. Luna's energy signature resonates with our frequency in ways we've never seen. This could be the key to true understanding between our species. Or it could be the catalyst for diplomatic disaster, Morris countered. Lieutenant Reyes, effective immediately, you're relieved of your research duties with the Lumini delegation. You can't, Luna started, but Vex's mental voice thundered through the chamber. Zarin, you will return to the collective vessel for purification and reassignment. This aberrant behavior ends now. Luna felt the bottom drop out of her world. She looked at Zarin, whose form had brightened with a pattern she'd never seen before, one that spoke of both pain and determination. Chancellor, Zarin said quietly, in all my cycles of service I have never questioned our ways, but what Luna and I have discovered, it proves that our species can achieve harmonic resonance. It proves that the ancient prophecies about finding kindred lights among the stars. Enough, Vex's form flashed with dangerous brightness. You speak of children's tales to justify violating our most sacred protocols. They're not just tales, Luna interrupted, unable to stay silent. The resonance patterns we've documented match exactly with the ancient Lumini texts about stellar harmonics. What if your prophecies were actually scientific predictions? What if they were trying to tell you that this kind of connection was possible? The chamber fell silent. Even Morris seemed taken aback by the implications. Zarin moved closer to Luna, their form beginning to pulse in sync with her heartbeat. There is another option, they said, addressing both leaders. Let us prove the value of our connection. The quantum theories we've begun to unlock together, they could revolutionize both our species' understanding of the universe. And if we refuse, Vex demanded. Zarin's form brightened with resolve. Then I will formally request separation from the collective. It is my right under ancient law. The declaration sent shockwaves through the assembled Lumini, their forms flickering with distress. Luna stared at Zarin, understanding the magnitude of what they were willing to sacrifice. That won't be necessary, a new voice spoke from the chamber entrance. Admiral Chen stepped into the room, her presence commanding immediate attention. Because as of 00 hours, the Joint Species Council has approved a new research initiative, one specifically studying cross-species resonance patterns. She fixed both Morris and Vex with a stern look. Whether you approve of their methods or not, Lieutenant Reyes and Liaison Zarin have made a breakthrough that could change everything we thought we knew about interspecies communication. The Council wants this research continued, under proper supervision, of course. Luna felt hope surge through her chest, matching the sudden brightness of Zarin's form. They looked at each other across the chamber, their connection humming with possibilities neither of their species had ever imagined. The battle wasn't over. She could see that in Morris's clenched jaw and Vex's rigid crystalline structure. But they had won this round, and more importantly, they had proof that their connection wasn't just real, it was revolutionary. As the chamber erupted into heated discussion about protocols and oversight, Luna caught Zarin's eye. Their form pulsed with a pattern that needed no translation. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Warning klaxons screamed through the stellar horizon as Luna raced toward the quantum physics lab, her heart pounding in sync with the emergency lights. The ship's quantum core was destabilizing, its experimental matrices failing after contact with an unknown spatial anomaly. All hands, this is not a drill, Captain Morris's voice echoed through the corridors. Core breach imminent in 17 minutes, evacuation protocols in effect. Luna burst into the lab to find Zarin already there, their crystalline form pulsing with urgent patterns as they studied the quantum readouts. The air crackled with unstable energy, making her skin tingle. The core's resonance is fracturing, Zarin said without turning, their mental voice tight with concentration. The anomaly has corrupted its basic frequency. If it breaks down completely, the resulting explosion will take out both ships, Luna added, moving to stand beside them, and the evacuation pods won't get far enough away in time. Zarin's form shifted, creating complex geometric patterns she'd learned to read as deep thought. There might be a way, but it would require something unprecedented. Luna met their violet gaze, understanding flooding through her. A full resonance bond while interfacing with the core. Yes, Zarin's lights pulsed with concern, but the risk. Doesn't matter, Luna finished, not if it saves everyone. The lab door hissed open as Captain Morris rushed in, followed by Chancellor Vex. Lieutenant, I ordered all hands to evacuation stations. Sir, we have a potential solution, Luna said quickly, but you'll have to trust us. Morris's face tightened. We're 13 minutes from total core failure, whatever you're planning. The quantum core operates on principles of harmonic resonance, Zarin interrupted, their mental voice carrying an authority that silenced even Vex. Luna and I can create a stabilizing frequency through our combined energy signatures. Impossible, Vex declared. No human can withstand direct quantum resonance with our kind. No other human has ever achieved the level of harmonic compatibility that Luna has, Zarin countered. Our research proves it. Another tremor rocked the ship. Warning displays flashed red as the core's containment fields weakened further. 11 minutes, Morris announced grimly. Luna stepped forward. Captain, Chancellor, you can either help us try or you can watch both ships be destroyed. Those are the only options we have left. Morris and Vex exchanged looks, years of diplomatic training warring with desperate necessity. Do it, Morris finally ordered, but if either of you shows signs of destabilization. We'll know, Luna assured him, already moving toward the quantum interface chamber. Her hands shook slightly as she began calibrating the controls. Zarin moved close, their form brightening with what she now recognized as protective concern. Luna, you understand what this will mean? A full resonance bond at this level. It will change us both, permanently. She met their gaze steadily. I understand, I'm ready. The interface chamber hummed to life as Luna stepped inside, Zarin's crystalline form flowing in beside her. The moment they touched, energy surged between them, stronger than ever before, as if their previous connections had been mere whispers compared to this symphony. Luna gasped as Zarin's consciousness merged with hers. Colors she'd never imagined exploded behind her eyes. She could feel the ship's quantum core as if it were part of her own nervous system, its destabilizing frequencies sending discordant waves through their joined awareness. Focus, Zarin's thoughts echoed through her mind. Feel the core's natural resonance, remember how we practiced. Luna reached out with senses she hadn't possessed before the bond, finding the thread of harmony hidden beneath the chaos. Zarin's energy wrapped around hers, strengthening, supporting as they began to weave a counter-frequency. Pain lanced through her as the quantum energies fought their efforts. She felt Zarin's concern spike, but she pushed through it, drawing on their shared strength. Gradually, their combined resonance began to align with the core's fundamental frequency. It's working, Morris's voice seemed to come from very far away. Core stability increasing, containment fields regenerating. Luna barely heard him. She was lost in the profound intimacy of the bond, experiencing reality through both human and Lumini senses simultaneously. She could feel Zarin's essence intertwined with hers, their separate consciousnesses harmonizing into something entirely new. When the core finally stabilized, Luna realized she was crying, tears streaming down her face even as Zarin's form pulsed with colors that spoke of joy and wonder and bone-deep exhaustion. They separated slowly, carefully, though Luna knew the deepest parts of their connection would never fully unwind. She could still feel Zarin's presence in her mind, a soft harmony underlying her thoughts. Core stabilized, Morris announced, his voice rough with relief. Well done, both of you. But Chancellor Vex was staring at them with an expression Luna had never seen on a Lumini before, something like awe mixed with trepidation. The prophecies, they whispered, about the joining of starborn souls, they weren't metaphors at all. Luna looked at Zarin, whose form now carried traces of her own bioelectric patterns, just as she knew her aura now shimmered with crystalline frequencies. They had transcended the boundaries between their species, proving that harmony could exist even across the vastness of their differences. No, Zarin agreed, their mental voice carrying echoes of both their consciousness. They weren't metaphors, they were predictions of exactly this moment. The observation deck of the stellar horizon was quiet save for the subtle hum of the ship's restored quantum core. Luna stood before the vast window, watching distant stars shimmer through the lingering traces of the spatial anomaly. Her reflection showed the changes the quantum bonding had left behind, subtle crystalline patterns that occasionally rippled beneath her skin, catching starlight like faceted gems. She felt Zarin's presence before they entered, their consciousness a warm harmony in the back of her mind. Their crystalline form now carried hints of human bioluminescence, soft pulses that matched Luna's heartbeat. The Joint Species Council has reached their decision, Zarin said, moving to stand beside her. Their mental voice carried both anticipation and serenity. Luna nodded, still watching the stars. And they're creating a new division, Zarin's form brightened with pleasure. The Interspecies Resonance Research Institute. They want us to lead it. Luna turned to face them, hope blooming in her chest. Both of us. Yes, Zarin's violet eyes swirled with emotion. What we achieved during the core crisis, it proved something that both our species needed to understand, that true harmony between different forms of life isn't just possible, it's transformative. Luna reached out, letting her fingers brush Zarin's crystalline surface. The contact sent familiar waves of sensation through their shared bond, colors, emotions, and thoughts flowing between them like starlight through crystal. Chancellor Vex has formally withdrawn their opposition, Zarin continued, leaning into her touch. They believe our bond fulfills the ancient prophecies about the convergence of stellar souls, and Captain Morris has admitted he was wrong about us. Luna smiled, feeling Zarin's amusement echo through their connection. In his own way, he said, and I quote, "Sometimes the most vital discoveries come from breaking protocol." Luna laughed, the sound carrying notes of crystalline resonance she was still getting used to. We're going to change everything, aren't we? We already have. Zarin's form shifted, creating patterns that spoke of deep affection. The quantum bond we share, it's more than just a bridge between our species. It's proof that love can transcend the boundaries we create. Luna's heart swelled at the word love, feeling its truth resonate through their connection. What about the physical changes in both of us? The council isn't concerned. They're fascinated, actually. Our transformation suggests possibilities they never imagined. Zarin paused, their lights pulsing with a hint of uncertainty. But there will be challenges. We're the first of our kind, a human Lumini pair permanently quantum bonded. There's no precedent, no guide for what we might become. Luna stepped closer, letting their energy fields merge in the way that had become as natural as breathing. Then we'll write our own guide, show others what's possible when you're brave enough to reach across the void. Through their bond, she felt Zarin's love wash over her, not just emotional but quantum deep, a resonance that sang through every atom of her being. Their forms began to pulse in perfect harmony, creating patterns of light that danced across the observation deck. The council has assigned us new quarters, Zarin said softly, specially designed for our unique situation. And they've approved our request for a formal bonding ceremony, one that honors both human and Lumini traditions. Luna's eyes widened. You mean? Yes, Zarin's form brightened with joy. If you'll have me, I want to declare our bond before both our peoples, not just as research partners or diplomatic liaisons, but as what we truly are, two souls who found harmony across the stars. Luna felt tears spring to her eyes, each one catching crystalline light. Yes, she whispered, 1,000 times yes. As they stood together watching the galaxy spread out before them, Luna marveled at how far they'd come. From that first moment of recognition in the airlock to this profound union that defied everything both their species thought they knew about connection. Their bond hummed between them, quantum energies dancing in patterns as unique as they were. They had become something new, something unprecedented, not just human, not just Lumini, but a harmony of both, proving that love could bridge even the vast distances between stars. What are you thinking? Zarin asked, though they could surely feel the emotions flowing through their connection. Luna smiled, leaning into their embrace as starlight played across their joined forms. I'm thinking that sometimes the greatest discoveries aren't made in laboratories or on expeditions. Sometimes they're made in the space between two hearts brave enough to resonate at a new frequency. Zarin's form pulsed with agreement, their shared consciousness filled with possibilities yet to come. They had started a revolution not with weapons or politics, but with the simple, profound truth that love could transcend every boundary, even those between species. As the stellar horizon cruised through the star-studded void, Luna and Zarin stood wrapped in their private harmony, their joined light casting new patterns across the darkness. They were more than just pioneers now. They were proof that in a universe full of differences, love could always find a way to create something beautiful and new. Their story would be told for generations, the human scientist and the crystalline being who dared to share not just their bodies or their minds, but their very essence. And in that sharing, they had discovered that the greatest frontier wasn't out there among the stars, but in the infinite space where two hearts learn to beat as one. The end.